Offlecture. Learn beyond class.
Hello friends and welcome to Offlecture. Today we are starting with fractions. In this topic we will learn and we will understand what a fraction really is, how the whole thing is split into parts, into equal parts, and how we write them. Okay, so let's start. In the first topic, we will look at 7 things, that is fraction as a part of whole, fraction as a part of collection or group, fraction as equal sharing, numerator and denominator, reading and writing fraction in words, showing fractions with diagrams, and then unit fractions, why more share means smaller pieces. So let's start with the first topic within the meaning of fraction, which is part of a whole. First thing, when we break a whole thing into equal parts, each part is a fraction. Okay? And remember, the parts must be of equal size or equal parts. Why? Because if the parts were different sizes, words like half or 1/4 would lose all the meaning. That is, fair sharing only works. Fair sharing only works when the pieces are equal. A fraction tells us how many equal parts we take. For example, if you see in the image on the right side, a roti is cut into 4 equal pieces. If we consider this round circle as a roti, so this roti has been cut into 4 equal pieces. One piece is this one, which is the shaded. One is this one, then this and this. So this is one part, this is second part, this is third part, and this is the fourth part. Okay, so if we want to tell how many parts is shaded or how many parts has been eaten from the roti, we will say that one part is shaded of 4. That is, if we write the fraction for it, the fraction formula will be parts taken over total equal parts. That is equals to parts taken is this one, which is shaded, which is 1 over total equal parts, which is 4. And remember that parts must be equal. A big piece or a one tiny piece are not equal halves. Now let's understand with an example. Look at a pizza. Let's say this is a pizza. I know it's not a pizza, but we have to assume this that this is a pizza. Actually, the pizza looks like this, and more or less it is kind of same. So a pizza it cut into 4 equal pieces. If you see a pizza it cut into 4 equal pieces. 3 slices have been eaten. We have a group of friends who have eaten 3 slices of it. So the total parts are 4. If you see it step by step, you have to count the total equal parts, which is 4 slices, and how many parts have been eaten, which is 3. So if we write the fraction for it, we will write it as parts taken over total parts, which means 3 parts been eaten over 4. So the fraction will become 3 by 4. So the answer will be 3/4 of the pizza was eaten, we will read it as 3/4. Okay. Now you guys have to try it. Pause the video, go through the question, and then tell me the answer. And then we will later on see its solution. The question is that a chocolate bar is broken into three equal parts. Two parts are shaded green. Currently it's shaded red. So let's write it red. What fraction is shaded? Write it and say it in words. And the hint will be parts shaded will go on top and total equal parts will go into the bottom. Okay. So if we see the answer will be 2/3. That is parts shaded. This is the parts this which has been shaded. So if we divide it into three parts, so two parts are shaded. So we will write 2 at top, and total there are three parts. So we will write it as 3. And if we want to read it, how we will read it? We will read it as 2/3. Okay. Now let's move to another meaning of a fraction, which is part of a group. Part of a group. A fraction can be described as a part of a collection of things as well. Okay. Meaning, count how many in the group you want or you mean to explain. For example, let's say there are 6 balls. This is the entire group. This is the entire group of balls. This is the entire group of balls. So there are 6 balls, out of which 2 are orange and rest 4 are green. So if we want to write the fraction of it, how we will write it? We will write the chosen items, that is the orange balls, over total items, over total items, which becomes 2/6. Okay. So here the whole is the entire group of balls and not a single ball. Okay. You have to remember this. So in this case, where we are considering part of a group, the fraction is chosen items divided by total items, which becomes 2/6. Let's see an example of it. There are 8 apples that is available with us, out of which 3 are green. So if we want to write the fraction of green apples over the entire group, how we will write it? We will first count all the apples. So there are 8 apples overall. Then we will count the green ones. There are 3 green apples. So that will become 3. We will write green apples over the total apples. So we will write 3 on the top and 8 on the bottom. So your fraction will become 3/8. And the answer will become 3/8 of the apples are green, and we will read it as 3/8. Okay. Now you guys have to try it. There are 5 flowers in the vase and 2 of them are red. What fraction of flowers are red? If you see, this is a vase out of which there are total 5 flowers and 2 are red, 1 and 2. So you have to tell us what fraction of the flowers are red available with us. The hint is very easy. Red flowers will come on the top and total flowers will come at the bottom. So if we see the answer is 2/5. 2/5. Or we can write it as 2/5. 2/5. Okay. because total red flowers are 2 and entire group of flowers is 5. So our answer will become 2 by 5. Okay. Now let's move to the another concept or the meaning of fraction, which is sharing equals to division. And this is important. Sharing equally or dividing are the same thing. What it means is, if we are sharing the things equally, it means that we are dividing the thing, and these are the same thing to each other. That is, sharing equally is the same as dividing. That is, a divided by b can be written as a by b. So if you share 3 rotis among 4 friends, and each one will get 3 divided by 4, because you have shared 3 roti among 4 friends. So that will become 3 by 4 of a roti, and the line in this fraction will literally mean divide. So what is the sharing rule that we understood from here? A divided by B is equals to A over B. That is, at the top, we will write things that we want to share, which is in this case roti, and at the bottom we will write how many people we are sharing it, and in this case, which is 4. So it will become 3 divided by 4. And remember, this fraction bar means divide. This line is a division sign. This line is also known as a division line. Okay. So let's understand with an example. Sharing 2 cakes among 5 friends. Let's say we have 2 cakes. This is first cake and this is second cake. And we have 5 friends. So we have 2 cakes which we have to share fairly. That is, we have to divide these 2 cakes among all 5 friends. Among all 5 friends. So there are 5 friends sharing them. It means that, as we know, that sharing means dividing. So we will write 2 divide by 5, and in a fraction we will write it as 2 over 5. Okay. So this is how sharing means dividing. Now let's do an example of it. So there are 4 chocolates are shared equally among 7 children. Write this as a division and as a fraction. How much does each child get? Pause the video and then we will see its answer. Okay, so answer is very easy, and we can see here it is also 4 divided by 7. 4 divided by 7, or we can write it as 4 by 7. That is, each child gets 4 by 7 part or 4/7 of the chocolate. Okay, the hint was very easy. You have to, the things to share will go on the top and number of children will go on the bottom. Okay. Now let's move to the next concept in the meaning of fraction, which is known as numerator and denominator. So a fraction has 2 parts. The top number is known as numerator. That is how many parts we took. Numerator is the top number. That is how many parts we take or took. And then comes the bottom number, which is known as denominator, which is the bottom number, that is the total equal parts in a whole. Remember, it should be equal division of the parts. And the line between them means out of 3 out of 5. That is 3 out of 5. So remember the names: N for numerator, N is for numerator, and D is for denominator. Numerator will come on the top and denominator will come in the bottom or below. Remember, denominator can never be 0. You cannot split a whole thing into 0 parts. For example, let's say you have a chocolate and someone says you that divide this or split this chocolate in 0 parts. Does it make any sense? Does it make any sense? No, because you can't divide anything or you can't split anything into 0 parts. 0 parts means nothing. Okay. So this is what numerator and denominator is. Let's understand with an example. Look at the fraction which is 7 by 10. On top, the number is 7, which is our numerator. And at the bottom we have 10, which is our denominator. Okay, it means 7 parts out of the 10 equal parts. This 10 equal parts is very important. 7 parts are taken out of 10 equal parts. So the numerator is 7 and the denominator is 10. Now you guys have to try it. You have to tell me in the fraction 4 by 9, which number is numerator and which number is denominator, and how does the denominator tell you, or what does the denominator tell you? So answer is pretty simple, that numerator here is 4 and denominator is here is 9. Okay, and what it tells us, what denominator tells us, that 9 means the whole part or whole thing is divided into 9 equal parts. Okay, when we are dividing things into equal parts, then only the concept of fraction actually come. Okay, so now let's say how we say fractions, like saying fractions. The top number is set like a normal counting number, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. Okay, and bottom number tells us the kind of parts, that is 2 is half, 3 is third, 4 is fourth, 5 is fifth and so on. Okay, and if the top is more than 1, then we will add s to it. For example, if we have 1 over 3, so we will say it as 1 third. But if we have 2 over 3, so we will say it as 2 thirds. We have added a s to it. Okay. So if you see these numbers or these fractions in words, 1 by 2 is known as 1 half, 1 by 3 will be known as in words as 1 third, 3 by 4 will be known as 3 fourths, 2 by 5 will be known as 2 fifths, and 7 over 8 will be known as 7 eighths. Now, let's understand through an example. What we have to do is we have to write this 5 by 6 into words. So the fraction is 5 by 6. Read the top as a number. So we will read it as a number. So it will be 5. Read the bottom as the part name, that is 6. And since the top number is not 1, so we will add s to it, and this will become our fraction in words, which is 5 sixths. Okay. Now you guys have to try it. Write these in words, 2 by 7 and 1 by 4. Then write the fraction for 3 tenths. So 2 by 7 will become 2 will come as it is. Then 7 will be sevenths. And since the numerator is not equals to 1, we will add s to it. So it will become 2 sevenths. Similarly, if we talk about 1 by 4, 1 in the numerator will come as it is. 4 will become fourth, which is in denominator. Okay. And since the numerator is 1, so we will keep it as it is. So this will become 1/4, or you can say 1/4 also. Fourth can be said as a quarter as well. Okay. And if we want to talk about 3 tenths, 3 tenths means 3 means numerator and tenth means denominator. So in fraction, it will be 3 over 10. Okay. So the hint was, or to remember, is 1 by 4 has a special name too, which is known as 1/4. You can say 1/4 also, but it has a special name, which is 1/4. Now let's understand drawing the fractions. Okay. The same fraction can be shown in many ways, like a circle, a bar, or a region. First, break it into equal parts. First, you have to break it into equal parts according to the denominator. According to the denominator, what denominator says. Then shade according to the numerator. Whatever number is in the numerator, you have to shade that region. Okay. The shape changes, but the fraction stays the same. Why does it stay the same? You may ask, like, why the fraction or the division will stay the same? Because a fraction only shows how many parts of how many. Fraction is showing how many parts of how many. So this is empty, and here we can add anything. Here we can add anything. We can write here circle, that is how many parts of circle, or we can write how many parts of bar, like this. Okay. So this is universal. So it's not dependent upon the bar or circle. The fraction will remain the same. Okay. So the ratio is the same in a circle or a bar, no matter what shape it is. Okay. So if you see in the diagram, we have a circle where 3 portions or 3 equal parts are shaded. So this will also become 3 by 4 or 3 over 4. And if we talk about this bar, there are 4 equal parts of it. There are 4 equal parts of it, and 3 parts has been shaded. So this will also become 3 by 4. Okay. Now let's understand with an example, that is how to draw 2 by 3. Okay. So step by step, if we work is, denominator is 3. So we have to split into 3 equal parts. Okay. We can choose any shape. Okay. We can choose a square also. Okay. We can choose a rectangle also. We can choose a circle also, whatever you want. Here, rectangle and circle has been shown. So we have divided the circle into 3 equal parts. Similarly, we have divided the bar into 3 equal parts. Now check that parts are equal in size. We have to check whether the parts are equal in size. For example, if I take the square, if I am taking this square, and if I divide this in this way, this part, this part, and this part, there are 3 parts of it. But are these parts equal to each other? If you see, this part is way smaller than this part, and this part is way smaller than this part. This is first part, this is second part, and this is third part. But are they equal? No. So from this, fraction cannot be made. But let's suppose we draw one more square. We are trying to build a square, and let's say we try to create 3 equal parts of it, and now these parts are equal. Okay, so here we can build the fraction. So this point is very important, that you have to check whether the parts are equal in size or not. Then numerator, whatever number numerator, you have to shade those parts. So we have shaded this region and this region, that is 2 parts we have shaded here and here. And if we talk about the square, we will shade these 2 parts, and it will work for a circle or a bar or a square. So each picture shows you 2 of 3 equal parts, that is 2 over 3. Okay, and now you have to try it. That is, here is the bar which is split into 3 equal parts. Shade it to show the fraction 3 by 5. How many parts will you share? So there are, the fraction is 3 over 5. And the hint is that denominator is 5 here. This is denominator and this is numerator. So denominator decides what number of equal parts we have to divide our shape, and numerator decides how many parts we have to shade. So we have to shade 3 parts. 1, 2 or 3. So we have 3 shaded parts. Okay. But can be the shading in this way? Can we shade in this way? 1, 2, 3? Yes. Again, 3 shaded parts are there over the 5 total equal parts. So the answer is shade 3 of the 5 parts to show 3 by 5. Now comes unit fraction. What is a unit fraction? A unit fraction is one with a 1 on top. A unit fraction is a kind of fraction where the numerator is always 1. Okay, and denominator can be anything. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be n. Okay, just one single part. And note, the more people share, the smaller the size. So the 1 by 8 fraction is smaller than 1 by 4 and 1 by 4 is smaller than 1 by 2. Okay, so you can understand with this diagram. For example, we have a circle. If we write or if we shade 1 by 2 fraction in this circle, we will shade one part and we divide it into two parts. So you can see this yellow shaded part is definitely bigger in comparison to 1 by 4, where we have divided the circle into four parts and again one part is shaded. And if you see here also, when we are representing 1 by 8, there are 8 equal parts that we made of. Okay, and out of which only one is shaded. So the size of this shaded area is smaller than the size of this shade area, which is smaller than this. So we can say that 1 by 2 will be greater than 1 by 3, which will be greater than 1 by 4, which will be greater than 1 by 6, and it will go up to 1 by n. N means here any number except 0. Any number except 0, because we can't divide the things into 0 parts. So always remember that as the denominator will increase, as the denominator will increase, it will become more tinier piece. It will become more tinier piece. That is, bigger denominator means smaller or tinier tiny piece. Okay, let's now understand with an example. If we talk about 1 by 3 and 1 by 6 and we want to understand which share is bigger, so what we will do is we will take any shape. Here circle is taken, so let's take a circle. Okay, and we will divide it into three parts and six parts. We have drawn two circle and we have divided into three equal parts. This is the three equal parts and this is the six equal parts. Okay, now we have to check whether 1 by 3 is bigger or 1 by 6 is bigger. So we will shade only one part of each circle. Okay, and from the visual representation only you can see that this part is bigger than this part. Okay, it means more people in the second group and more sharer means a smaller piece each. That is 1 by 3 is greater than 1 by 6 means fewer shares means a bigger share. Okay, and this example can be worked with the rectangle also. Let's suppose we have two equal rectangles. These are the two equal rectangles. We divide into three parts and we divide this into, let's say, six parts. 1 2 3 4. One second, let me draw it again. One, two, three, and 4. One second. This make only 5 parts. We have to make 6 parts. No, I thought we have to make 5 parts. So we will quickly make another triangle which of the same size. 1 2 3, 4, and 5. So we have 6 parts here, and out of which one is shaded. So you can clearly see that this part is bigger in comparison to this. It means that 1 over 3 is bigger than 1 over 6. Now you have to try it without drawing which is larger, 1 by 5 or 1 by 9. We already know that if the denominator is bigger, it means that the size is smaller. So it means that 1 by 5 is bigger than or greater than 1 by 9. It means if you want to share among 5, a bigger piece will come if you share the same thing among 9 persons. Okay. So what we learned, let's do a quick revision. We have learned part of a whole, that is a fraction is equals to equal parts taken out of total equal parts. Then we understood part as a group or part of a group, that is chosen items over total items in the collection. Then we have third, which is sharing equals to division, that is a divided by b is same as the fraction a over b. Then comes the fourth part, that is numerator and denominator. So top means the parts taken and bottom means the total equal parts. If we want to write the fraction in words, so top will be the number and bottom will be the part name. And when we talk about unit fractions, always in numerator one will be on the top and a bigger denominator means a smaller piece. Okay. So in next section, what we will do is we will look about the types of fraction. Okay, what are the different types of fractions available with us? Okay, thank you. Bye bye.